the election season. We're down to Barack Obama and John McCain, and I want to find out from you guys what your opinion is about this election. How it's shaping up. Who are you going to vote for?
Barack Obama.
I'm not a Republican, but I do know McCain back from his senator days in Arizona, and I was pretty impressed with his work.
Vote for Obama. No more drama.
Yeah.
Whoever wins does right for the country. That's all I want.
What's up, mi gente, and welcome to LATV Presents Decisión 08. I'm your host, Humberto Guida. Now, on today's show, we're going to be covering the presidential election and how it affects us Latinos. We have some amazing guests, but first, I have to talk about the deceptive negative campaigning because it has me confused. If you listen to some of these ads, you come away thinking that Barack Obama is playing basketball for Al-Qaeda, or you think that Sarah Palin wants to replace sex education for moose hunting classes. A few months ago, they had me believing that Hillary Clinton was picking up the phone at 3 a.m. to bail Bill Clinton out of jail somewhere. But you know what? Latinos got to get involved in the negative campaigning. For instance, did you know that John McCain's father was an admiral in the Navy and John McCain was actually born on the Panama Canal? This could be used against him. Ask any Latino, would you vote for anyone that was born in Panama? I have Panamanian friends, and they would never vote for anyone born in Panama. So there you go. All right, mi gente, we have an amazing, informative show. I'm going to bring up our guest panel. He was named as the up-and-coming Latino producer in showbiz. Watch for his new reality show, Miss University, airing next year. Please welcome Carlos Arias. Right here. She's the spokeswoman for VotoLatino.org, and she's a regular contributor to CNN. Please welcome Teresa Peterson. Hey, he's the premier Spanish-Mexicano hip-hop artist. His album, La Leyenda Continúa, is out in stores now. Please welcome Malverde. What's up, my man? All right, guys. So, we have a lot to talk about. First and foremost, I want to ask you, Maria Teresa Peterson, as a spokesperson for VotoLatino.org, how involved are Latinos in the election this year?
They're incredibly involved, and I think what's really more telling than anything else is that 52% of all Latinos that casted a vote during the primaries were under the age of 29. That's powerful. And I think it's really that we're finally realizing that, you know, that we're Latino, we're proud, but we're also American, and it's showing in the polls.
Now, what's the demographic in terms of, like, party enrollment? Are they registering as Democrats, as Republicans?
We're seeing, actually, most of the folks that are registering for the most part, independent and Democratic, and then Republican, and that's the ranking. And more of the reason that they're registering independent is that they don't have a party affiliation. They're saying, you know what, I don't care so much about the party, I care about the issues. So tell me what you're talking about, and that's how I'm going to vote.
And how does that compare to Latino involvement in the days past, in previous elections?
It's historic, and it's all started off when you saw young people organizing back in March of 2006, going to the streets, and it's really taking it home and saying, okay, from 2000 to 2004, you saw an increase of Latino participation, but youth participation has increased almost 20% from 2000, so it's huge.
That's amazing. Now, have you guys noticed that Latinos are getting more involved in the election? I mean, when you're out there on doing your performances, what do you hear from you know, your fans in regards to this election and political issues?
I mean, I think at this point, you wake up in the morning, you know, yesterday, and you hear that the Dow dropped 777 points. Right. I don't think, you know, the normal everyday person really knows the profoundness of what's happening in our nation right now. I mean, we're on the brink of economic collapse. So this is a time when us Latinos, I mean, you can't be complacent. You know, you can't ignore the fact that, you know, immigration obviously is close to my heart, but there's so many issues right now that we need to deal with. So obviously you see it out there. And I think it's my responsibility to really champion, you know, the activeness of our raza to get involved right now, you know?
Now, Carlos, I mean, we have West Coast here. You're coming from the East Coast, from Miami. I mean, is there a lot of enthusiasm, Latinos on the East Coast also, to get involved with this year's election? Are you noticing that friends of yours that might not have been interested in politics before all of a sudden getting involved?
I think that there's definitely an increase in just general attention to what's going on as a result of the issues that we've talked about, and you know, the economy, immigration, so many important issues, and the candidates. I think Obama, more so than McCain, has reached an entire new demographic of voter, and has really sparked that interest, which I think is wonderful for the process in general. But we're living in interesting times. There's a lot of debate, who's right, who's wrong, the economy. I mean, we can talk about this for a long time on this show today, but I think it's great that the process has been given a lot of attention, which is, it's healthy.
I think that we know what kind of issues are at the forefront of the election this year, but let's talk about what are the issues that are important to Latinos that you think? What do you think that they should be paying attention to first and foremost?
I mean, the number one issue we've been taking a poll on votolatino.org, and the number one issue is the economy. And what ranks after the economy is we're finding the war, and after the war, what we're finding is education. And that's because, but the funny thing is that we ask, well, you know, what do you care about the most? And disproportionately, everybody says, everything affects me. And so it's like, well, at least people are listening.
All right, now we're going to go to a studio audience question. Go ahead.
You can do it this time, Malverde.
Hi, my name's Ruben. I was just wondering, what can we do to get Latinos more interested and involved in the elections?
I think you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of apathy, but it's also movement, and we have to use a lot of peer pressure tactics and say, look, for whatever reason, every single decision, whether you pay taxes, every time you go to the grocery store and you pay taxes, someone else is deciding where your money goes. Unless you vote and you participate, you can actually figure out where your money goes. And it has to be, the last election was decided by 2 million people. We have 18 million Latinos that are eligible voters. 50,000 Latino youth turn 18 every single month. Imagine if every single one of them voted. They'd have a different educational system. They'd have a different healthcare system. It's a matter of waking up and saying, you know what, this is a collective effort. It's a community, and it's on us. If we don't do it, no one's going to do it for us.
All right, we're going to pick up on that when we come back. Right now, we're going to go for a commercial break. See you in a second.